Let's look first of all at the lyric power of Nothing Is Over by Sunrise Avenue. If you have never heard of Sunrise Avenue, give a listen to Hollywood Hills, Fairy Tale Gone Bad, and Nothing Is Over. Those are definitely their three best songs. And this song, Nothing Is Over, it scores 85%. So this is pretty good. And regarding the 22 most important criteria that really make or break a song, they score 92%. Why is that? Let's dive into that song and look at it more specifically. And as you know, the first thing I do is I always look at the song's first line to find out how powerful is that song's first line to actually pull the audience in and hook them, grab their attention, and open a narrative gap where they are really intrigued to find out what happened before, what happens next, and what's the situation like that this song's main character is in. I just want to know more. If the song's first line achieves this, then hey, that's awesome, because this is the biggest barrier of entry. Like if your song doesn't hook your audience right away and it's not giving them this emotional hook where they feel like, I want to know more, this speaks to me, then they are not going to pay attention to the rest of your lyrics, no matter how great they are. And they might even skip before they get to the good part. So always start off strong, which doesn't mean to give everything away with your song's first line. It just means to hook them with a problem, which is probably the most powerful way, as I always say. But you can also use a mighty desire, or start telling a story, or making a shocking statement. And this part here, don't turn away, this is also like a shocking statement. Like if you hear this, if someone says this to you, don't turn away, then it makes you stop in your tracks. This is so cool, because even for a song, it's like, don't turn away from this song. Listen to this, like, don't turn away. It's like it's immediately giving us this command of, hey, listen to this song now, it's important. I just love this first line. It's a very strong action beginning, because the don't turn away is without us having to say it explicitly. We know that someone is directly talking to us, which is always in action. Like dialogue is always in action. So it really plunges the audience right into an unfolding event. And then the other thing that you probably know by now that I like to do is compare the song's first line, don't turn away, with the song's last line. And the song's last line is Nothing Is Over. So if we just compare the first line with the last line, we want to see, like, this is a nice thing to have. It's not a must, but it's a nice thing to have to already show how everything changes by just comparing your song's first line and your song's last line. So we have, don't turn away, nothing is over. So if you compare those two lines, then you can see that something must have happened in between that led to that shift. Because we know, like, don't turn away, something is about to be over. Someone is parting, right? Someone is going away from something, which means the end of things. But looking at the last line, nothing is over, we already know, like, hey, there's something happened that made that person stay. And this is like a nice wrap up. Whenever you listen to that song, like if you are that crazy like me, like listening to that song on repeat, like whenever I have the chance, then the song ends with nothing is over. And then it starts again with don't turn away, nothing is over. It's like, it's repeating that message, making it even stronger. So yeah, I just like those little perks that you can also include in your song lyrics. It's the same with, if you compare the lyrics first line, don't turn away, and you compare it with the first line of the second verse, I won't turn away. So at first it's all about them, don't turn away, and then it's assuring them, I won't turn away. So if you don't turn away, then I won't turn away. And this is also so nice, because you know this song is about a relationship that is on the brink of them breaking up, and he doesn't want her to turn away, and he's reassuring her by saying, I won't turn away. This is so huge. This is such a big thing. And because of this reassurance, this is so strong. And it also shows how the song's main character, that first person character, how he appreciates or how he values the relationship that he has with that person, and that he is not willing to give up, that he is willing to fight for her. And yeah, this is a really nice thing to do, which also already leads us to what this music artist, Samu Haber, is doing a lot, putting the other person into the crisis, putting them into the spotlight. And because of song's first line, it is a decision that the person they are addressing, that they have to make. Don't turn away. So you are addressing them right in the beginning and showing the audience that it is their choice, like the person who is addressed, to turn away or to not turn away. It's their choice. Like already in the beginning, you have established it is about you. It just shows that it's not the song's main character facing those main points, but it will be the other person. because it will be their choice. And it's established right from the beginning. So that's pretty cool. It's not like sometimes you encounter songs where you think the song's main character, because of the way how the lyrics are written, is the one person who is going through the journey right there, like the main protagonist. And then at a later point, and which can confuse, is it turns out that the other person is the one who's actually going through the journey. And that might be confusing for the listener. But here in those lyrics, you have this established right in the song's beginning. It's already giving someone a choice of what they can do next. And we as the audience, we keep listening to the song because we want to find out, will they turn away or will they not turn away? Like, yeah, we just want to know. So next question, like, what is the song about? And I've already talked about this. It's a couple who's going through a rough patch in their relationship where one of them is close to breaking up, but the other one is understanding and fighting for their love. So this is what we have here. And I mean, when you look at the lyrics, they are super easy to get. Like, there is no confusion at all, like what they are about. It's like, we get it. We just get it. And that is so good. Like, when your lyrics are not hiding behind some poetic literary devices and this fancy language that no one gets and that doesn't really resonate. But if you're like simple is not easy. Simple is hard to pull off. But if done right, then it just flows and truly like bypasses your audience's critical minds to touch their hearts and change their worldviews. And it's done so great. Like, look at the choice of words. It's just straight to the point. And still, he's using imagery. Because when you look at the words like this here, one step away, the one to take us one way, wrong way. Like, those lines alone, they hold so much power because we understand what they mean without explicitly having to say that this is a dead end. Or this one way will lead to the end of the relationship, while the other one will still give them a shot. Like, we don't have to say all of those things, but we understand what it means if there's a wrong way. So we already have that. Or just look at the personification of pain. The pain would find me. Like, if pain would be a person, right? A person can find someone, but pain can't find you. But here is used to personify the pain, which is another part of like using those literary devices, but it all flows in so neatly and it's done in such a simple way that it really gives the words the best effect. And it also adds to the specificity, because, you know, I'm always looking out for that specificity, because this is such a huge part to being able to give the audience the necessary context to understand the song's main character situation. And in this part here, we still, even though the lyrics are not like, there's not that much, right? If we just look at what we have, like we have this verse here and then this one here, and then there's just the chorus, we don't have much to go on. So where's the specificity? He included the time, so we know it's today. So this is urgent, right? This is like this psychological effect. It's today. So this decision is due today. So it's one aspect of specificity to really nail it, like, when is it happening? Another level of specificity is him confessing to his feelings, like he is scared. But this works only because he explains why he is scared. He is scared because he can see that they are a step away from going the wrong way. So we have some more specificity added to that, which also contributes to further letting us know how this is a breakup song. And we even have more specificity than with him saying that he won't turn away, the pain would find him, he can't hide, and that he's on her side, and that he wants to be there. So this is all giving us some more insight into the relationship, because like when we look at the specificity here, we have that with the setting, right, which we know is tonight. But then the other level of specificity is, do we know like the relationship between the song's main character and the person they're talking to? Like, do we get some more specific details about what their relationship is like to each other? And we hear a lot about how he looks at their relationship through the word choices that he's using, how he is describing how he feels. Plus, he's even reaching out and saying, hey, maybe we can just get help. We just need a word of guidance. So there are a couple of things that show us like the spectrum of what he's going through, from plunging us right into an unfolding event with asking her not to turn away, confessing his feelings that he's scared, to saying what it would do to him and telling her that he still loves her, that he's still on her side and that he wants to be there, to being this understanding and just saying, hey, we're just like the rest. We just need some guidance and we can be okay. And so regarding their relationship, we know who those two people are to each other. So this is very helpful. Also, because the lyrics are so simple but written in such a compelling way, we just feel how they move us, especially like in combination with the music. Like, it's an explosion of emotions. And Yeah, as I already said, we know who is talking to whom. This is clear. We have direct address. We also get some indication, but even though it's not a literal place, we can still picture them standing at a crossroads, which also further helps us to understand the place they are in their relationship. So it has this double meaning because you see them, they can turn away from each other, each one of them going a different way, or they can choose to go the right way together. So we have that mental image of a crossroad in our mind, even if it's not like a literal place, like a dance floor or a bar or on the street or whatever. It's still included, even though it's more like implied, but we still have it there. Now, most importantly is, of course, narrative device. We always want to know, like, who are we writing this song for and what's the specific problem that they're dealing with. So the problem is they're talking to a lover, someone they still dearly love, and this impacts the choice of words, phrases they use, the way they talk to them, what they choose to include, they choose to exclude, what they choose to embellish. It all comes from knowing who you're talking to. Like if you would be talking to your grandpa about someone you love, you would talk in a completely different way than if you talk to your lover or if you talk to your child. So we got to know who we're talking to. And of course, like in this song, we absolutely know that it's one lover talking to the other one. So this is clear as we've already established. And the problem, of course, is that those two are at the brink of a breakup, of ending their relationship. And what you're going to do when you are at this moment, like will you choose to continue to fight for your love and be with that person, even though you're already facing a hard time? Or are you going to choose like the easy way out and maybe hope for someone else who comes along and maybe choose your independence again? Like what you're going to choose. Both things come with something to lose and something to gain. What we get from the song's main character is that there is no other option for them. So they're already at that place where they know what they want. And it's always great for love songs. Yeah, especially love songs, when you have the song's main character who's putting the other person onto the spot. Like when we know what they want, because then they act as this strong, confident, mature and understanding person that helps the other person to find the way again. So this is actually something very positive. And if you want to write a song like this and put the other person in the spotlight, then the song's main character, they already need to have self-actualized and know what they want. And they need to have that level, like this worldview level of understanding. They have to be mature, sophisticated, to be able to make sense of where they are right now in their relationship. They have to be able to see the complete picture so they can guide the other person to that place as well. They can do that by being understanding, being honest, and being vulnerable, and help them. Like give them the option. It's not about manipulating them, but it's just laying out the cards like, this is it, what you want to do. So yeah, this is super important. And the problem, of course, like don't turn away. There's still time, a tiny moment, don't let go today. Like how many people have been in a situation like this where they thought about ending a relationship? So it's like the level of universal relatability. There's no question about it. So we have that. And of course, also the external content genre, right? There's no question that this is a song about love. So we have a love song. This is clearly established with the song's first line, don't turn away, because yeah, it's so close to them breaking up. And they're still at a good place because the song's main character is still fighting for that relationship. So this relationship is not yet at a bad place. It's still at a good place. We have that obligatory moment of the almost breakup combined with the confession of love, or a repeated confession of love. We don't know if it's the first one or like the 100th or 1000th, but it's a confession of love as well for this particular situation where you are at the brink of breaking up. So we have that. We also know that there are opposing forces because she thinks that they are broken. So this is an opposing force, but he's also reaching out for helpers. Like we could use a word of guidance, and he's like looking for helpers. This is also another convention for a love story. Yeah, we have two obligatory moments mentioned, and we have two conventions included, which makes the love song even stronger. I hope you can feel this, like how strong this love song actually is. And then we have it combined with the internal content genre, which is all about worldview, because we know the song's main character, he has already self-actualized. He can see the complete picture. He's already at that better place. She might still be in that cognitive dissonance. She doesn't know what to do. And that's why he can take on the role of the strong mentor figure, right? Which is also a convention of the worldview internal genre. And what we also get, like one of the most important moments in the worldview genre, is that point of no return. It's a clear point of no return. And we have this here, like with don't turn away. If they're stepping into the wrong direction, they can't return from it. They're broken up. The damage has been done. We can clearly see it's a clear point of no return. This is why this crisis that the person who is addressed in those song lyrics, why this is such a huge decision that they're about to make, and why the song's main character is trying to guide her and putting all the cards on the table, being vulnerable, looking for help, confessing to their feelings, confessing that they are scared. They're doing all of those things because they know what's at stake. It's their relationship that's at stake, and they just want to be open and honest about it. So let's look at the 5 waypoints, because you might ask yourself, like, hey, where is story now? Like, I kind of get it, like how the lyrics progress, but please help me with the story. And yeah, of course, we can go through the 5 waypoints now. And so let's first look at the inciting interaction. Like, it's a causal, coincidental, or correlational event that comes from the external and impacts the song's main character. It's an unexpected event, right? Like a curveball, and it makes the double factor problem rise up. But they're only seeing it as a one-sided problem at first, because it's only through the turning point that they will see like the competing values of the double factor problem that are dependent on the context. And so the inciting interaction, please remember now, it is all about the person that is addressed in the song lyrics. It's not about the song's main character, because they have already gone full circle. They're already at that place of self-actualization. So now we focus on the person they address. And so the inciting interaction is now caused by the song's main character, who's saying, don't turn away. This is the inciting interaction. This is like something that truly disturbs the other person who had probably this plan. I'm giving up now. I'm leaving. I'm going. This is the end, right? But then he's saying, don't turn away. And it's an immediate inciting interaction. As I said, it's causal, right? And it upsets the life of the person addressed in those song lyrics, of the other lover, right? It upsets them, like what they're going to do about it. But of course, they still have options, right? They can turn away and leave. They can turn around. They can turn around and slap him in the face. They can turn around and scream at him. They can turn around and end it verbally. They can do something to distract him. Like, there's still lots of options available to them, right? Again, with the inciting interaction, like, it opens this portfolio of choice, even though it sounds like a binary choice, but they still have options how they're going to deal with that command of him saying, don't turn away. There are still options. Now, the progressive complications that the song's main character is adding is that he is saying there is still time. There's still a tiny moment where we can impact how this all turns out. He's telling her, we can still shine. We are not broken. Like, he's adding all those affordances for her, those things to help her find the right way. And this is where it comes into place, where he's like truly being vulnerable and saying like, hey, it's scarce to see where we are, or that we are a step away from going the wrong way. Like, all of those are progressive complications that take away some of her options on how she's gonna deal with him just telling her, don't turn away. Like, she could have said like, who are you to tell me what I'm gonna do? Or like slap him in the face, all the things I've already mentioned. But with him saying those things, like all the things she might have thought about doing, she's like letting them slip. Like, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do that. Because we know, like, she's just listening, right? We don't hear her. She's just listening, taking it all in. And so the progressive complication that is actually the turning point is already here. We mentioned it as a progressive complication, but as we know, a turning point is the last progressive complication. And we have him saying, like, confessing his feelings, we're scarce to see that we are a step away. And here, this is the part, like, the one should take us one way, wrong way. So this is a causal event because he's telling her this, and which is a revelation, right? Because he's confronting her with the fact that they're about to make one step in the wrong direction. This is a huge revelation. This is the turning point. And you see how this can like be a little disguised, because you really have to pay attention to the words that the song's main character is saying, because he is the cause for those different waypoints that we go on. He is saying them, like he's expressing them, and through that, he's causing them. And then, of course, we know like a turning point throws someone into a crisis. And the crisis that it follows immediately after that is, say nothing is over. You gotta stay with me. You can find the crisis choice in the chorus. And with that, the chorus revolves around that crisis choice, because he's reminding her of the crisis that she is facing, and also reminding her of the stakes. Like, say nothing is over, the crisis. Though everything's crazy, he's showing his understanding. Be brave and trust me, he's offering help. It's not a game over. Like, reassuring her that there's still a chance to move forward in a better direction. We gotta try harder. Like he's talking about him and her, like it's us still together. We just have to try harder. You gotta stay with me. Again, crisis. He's like reminding her of the crisis choice. You gotta stay with me. There's nothing we can't reach. Like showing her that there's so much potential still, that there's still so much possibility, that so much is waiting for them. There's nothing they can't reach. Like they have the strength to do this, which is so beautiful. And then he's saying because, which is a very strong word, especially if you have studied NLP, then you know like because is like a presupposition, like, oh, this is a very difficult word. It makes the person who hears that word not question it. Like whatever follows after, they do not question it. And when he says because nothing is over, then it's just like, yeah, nothing is over. Nothing is over yet. It's just like you agree with that. Nothing is over. It's not manipulating. It's just stating they have not yet made the wrong step. So nothing is over. And it's beautiful. Now, after hearing the crisis, we encounter some more progressive complications that are affordances to help her find the right way. I won't turn away. Like he's reassuring her again that he is there with her. Then he's confessing, hey, I'm going to feel the pain. Like the pain will find me. He's open and honest about it, that it will be a tragic loss if she's leaving him. Please don't send me away. Again, he's reminding her of the crisis. I'm on your side. That's where I want to be. And this is also showing us already what's at stake for her, right? Because if she sends him away, again, crisis, what's at stake is having him in her life, having someone in her life who's on her side. So this is really important, and we have the stakes established right there. I'm on your side. That's where I want to be. Like, do you want to sacrifice this? And now the part, after a crisis, we know there has to be a climax. What's the decision that the person who's facing the crisis, what's the decision that they make? And I noticed like in lots of songs written by Sunrise Avenue, they stop with the crisis. It either revolves around the crisis or the crisis is implied, but the song just stops with the crisis and we do not hear the choice of the person who is addressed and we don't hear a resolution, which actually then makes the story incomplete. It neither turns it into a cautionary tale, nor does it turn it into a prescriptive tale, because it just stays stuck at that place and we are not hearing how it further unfolds. So it's like we are cut off. And if you like those kind of songs, then if you really feel like you're the person who's addressed, then you can make your own choice. Like, what would you do in this kind of situation? What choice would you make? But you will never see how it will turn out for the song's main character, the situation that they are in and what the outcome that they try to influence by giving that other person the option to decide. We will never hear that outcome. So we will never know is what the song's main character did to put that other character into the spotlight. We will actually never hear how that turns out. This is why those songs do not actually communicate a message, because it's not going anywhere. The song's not going anywhere. But as you can see from the progression of those song lyrics here, they are leading up to that moment. The word choices, how everything fits together, it's so well done. That's why the song has such a big impact on us. And the cool thing about those song lyrics, they like, you really have to listen to the song to be able to get this one, to get this part. At the end of the song, we get a lot of nothing is over, nothing is over, nothing is over, and it's done by the background voices. So it's not the song's main character, like Samu Haber, singing those words anymore, like nothing is over. Now it's only the background vocals, which actually is a nice way of showing that the person who faced the crisis, it's now them saying those words. Nothing is over, nothing is over. So they have come to that understanding that nothing is over yet. So we have the story neatly wrapped up because we hear their decision. We hear them saying what their decision is. And you know, I always say the climax, the decision, the internal decision that someone makes, it has to be externalized by an action. But in those kind of songs, it wouldn't fit if the song's main character would say, or it could, depending how you pull it off and how the rest of the lyrics are, if they would say, like, you took my hand, nothing is over. Like, this could still work, but because of the lines, nothing is over, they are so strong, and they were part of the crisis that the entire song revolved around, and we heard them the entire time, and we wondered, like, how does it all turn out? And then to hear those words again by those background vocals, nothing is over, nothing is over, then we intuitively know that's right, nothing is over between them. And which is actually then showing us that this is a prescriptive tale. If you're ever in a situation like this can actually help. Just put your cards on the table, be open and understanding, be vulnerable, say what you want, say how it would hurt you, say all those things, and give comfort and guidance, pull them along. Because you're already at that place, you know, where you can see the entire picture and just pull them along and yeah, do that for them. This is why this song is a prescriptive tale, and we see how the external situation changes. because they are moving from at the brink of the end of a relationship, from that almost breakup, they're back together again. So we have that positive shift. So we have an external positive shift, and we also have that internal shift, because with the person who's addressed in the song lyrics, with them saying nothing is over, then they have come to the same understanding, which means they have moved away from that place of cognitive dissonance to that place of understanding, yes, nothing is over. So we have, regarding the internal content genre, like what's internally going on here, they have also moved to a better place. So we have that shift, and we always need that change, right? For a story to work, we need to see that change. And we have that here. It's a positive shift, prescriptive story. And because we have the turning point and the climax included, we also have a working narrative that takes the audience on the journey alongside those two characters. And the meaningful message that the song lyrics communicate is love triumphs when lovers fight for their love, even when they go through a rough time together, when they still believe in their love and pull the other to the safe shore again, like something like this, right? So we just get it, like the message is included in those powerful song lyrics. We just get it. That's why we don't have to state out that message like love triumphs or anything like this. We just know it does because of how the story progressed and how everything turned out. Nothing is over. And the last thing I want to mention is, again, the chorus, like say nothing is over, though everything's crazy. Like all those word choices here, we have such an empowering chorus. Like even though I have heard this song or listened to the song like over 100 times, it moves me every time. So that's a great sign for a great and empowering chorus if the audience keeps doing that, like just singing along to those lines because they mean the world to them. So yeah, and this is it for this month's lyric study. If you liked it, let me know. I will see you next time and talk soon.